Welcome back to PC Builder. I'm Jason. Black Friday GPU deals are here. We'll take a look at the best graphics cards to buy in November 2024, including the best graphics cards for Black Friday and the holiday shopping season. We'll cover every budget level from the best graphics card under $200 all the way up to the best 1440p graphics card and best 4K graphics card in 2024. And we'll look at upcoming graphics card launches and sales. If you get value out of this video, please give it a like so it really helps out the channel, and of course subscribe for more cool PC content. With that, let's jump into it. This video is sponsored by VIP SCD Key. Say goodbye to crazy expensive Windows licenses and that terrible Activate Windows watermark. Right now, use the links in the video description, head over to VIP SCD Key and get a Windows 10 or 11 OEM license for a great price. Pick your product license, then use the PC Builder discount code PC25 for an additional 30% off during their Black Friday sale. Go to the activation settings on your PC, put in the code, and boom! Windows is fully licensed for a crazy low price. And Windows 10 can be upgraded for free to Windows 11. And they have Microsoft Office licenses too. Use the links in the video description. Let's start off by playing everyone's favorite game, should you buy now or should you wait? Before we jump into GPU prices for the month, the first thing we have to talk about, it's Black Friday sales. In fact, early Black Friday sales started November 1st. Though most of the best deals were on other PC parts and not necessarily GPUs. Of course, there were insane GPU deals during Amazon Prime Day in October, and I believe we will see the return of at least some of those prices, so let's take a quick look. The best deals were all AMD, as they rushed to close out virtually every RX 7000 series GPU before they launched mid-range graphics cards in early 2025. The RX 7700 XT got down to $349, and that included a free 2-game bundle that's no longer available. The RX 7800 XT 16GB got down to $427, the RX 7900 XT 20GB got down to $619, and the RX 7900 XTX got down to $788, though that last one did not include the 2-game bundle. Over on the NVIDIA side, as usual, there just wasn't much in the way of deals. NVIDIA pretty much never offers significant discounts on sales as a general policy, though the 4070 Ti Super, it did get down to $749. The trend over the last couple years has been that in general, the best deals occur during early Black Friday sales, but then there are a handful of really insane deals on very specific GPU models that do occur during the period from the actual date of Black Friday, this year that's November 29th, and they go up to Cyber Monday. Let's take a quick look at current generation graphics card prices. And note, I've included a column for the best Prime Day deals for the ones that actually had good deals during October Prime Day, so you can see where everything might get to. Starting off with AMD Radeon graphics card prices, we see the high-end graphics cards like the RX 7900 XTX and XT starting off at even lower than their prices before Amazon Prime Day in October. Then the RX 7900 GRE and RX 7800 XT graphics card models, really no change there. Meanwhile, the lower cost options for the 7700 XT and 7600 XT are currently out of stock, so those prices went up. Over to the NVIDIA GeForce graphics card prices, we're pricing for graphics cards at the higher end, so like the RTX 4090 and 4080 Super. They continue to rise as NVIDIA reportedly ended production of these models quite a while ago. The RTX 4070 Ti Super pricing, it's a bit weird. Right now, MSI is actually offering a Black Friday deal for $729, but only through their online store. I'll leave that link down in the video description. But all the other models at actual US retailers are at least $779, and so that's what the price I've gone with. The rest of the pricing, it's about the same as before Amazon Prime Day in October, with the exception of a massive price spike on the RTX 3050 8GB graphics card that might indicate that there's few left and they're selling through. Over on the Intel side, prices are largely unchanged for the Arc A series GPUs, except for the Arc A580, which sees a small price decrease. I would expect to see bigger discounts here if next generation Battlemage GPUs were in fact going to launch before Black Friday, as we previously heard, but Intel is kind of a mess right now, so honestly, who knows? With current graphics card prices edging back down to match their lowest levels, and Black Friday deals nearly here, should you buy now or wait for new graphics cards to launch? For next-gen graphics card launches, we still expect the RTX 5090 and RTX 5080 in early 2025, when NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang is scheduled to give a keynote talk at the Consumer Electronics Show, that's CES, in January. Leaked specs for the RTX 5090, they look good, but pricing might be a little crazy, and the RTX 5080 leaked specs, they look more like a 5070. So that would be a bit disappointing. But leave it to known leaker Cop87 Kimmy to put a big doubt in our minds with a single tweet saying, we will meet GeForce of Blackwell soon. Like, what does that even mean? Sooner than 2 months from now? And there was a rumor from a very dubious source claiming that we would also get a RTX 5070 Ti and 5070 in February, then the RTX 5060 Ti and 5060 in March, but no other leakers confirmed this, so I'm listing this as very sus. On the AMD Radeon side, everything points to mid-range RX 8000 series graphics cards, likely also announced at CES in January, that will bring performance between an RX 7900 GRE and 7900 XTX to a more $500-ish price point, with likely better ray tracing. For Intel Battlemage, who knows? Maybe they'll launch the week after this video goes live, maybe not. The safe bet to me is that we'll get the RTX 5090 and 5080 along with 2 mid-range price AMD GPUs in January, possibly Intel Battlemage, but nothing is yet official, so we'll have to wait and see. In terms of current GPU game bundles, Intel has a new bundle for both Arrow Lake CPUs, don't necessarily recommend those, as well as its higher-end ARC GPUs like the A580, A750, and A770. You get the new Assassin's Creed Shadows game when it launches February 14, 2025, along with a 6-month free subscription at Ubisoft Plus Classics, and the deal goes through March 2025. Intel values this at $69. Sadly, AMD's insane 2-game bundle of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 and Unknown 9 Awakening, it's expired at the time of filming. They haven't extended it or offered a new bundle, but if they do after this video goes live, then I'll put it in a pinned comment below. NVIDIA again extended the Star Wars Outlaws game bundle with the purchase of an RTX 4070 or higher value graphics card if you purchase it by November 12th, which is pretty close to the date of this video, but they might extend it again. Currently, that game is $70 direct from Ubisoft. Remember that to get the bundles, you have to buy the qualifying GPU at a participating retailer. Some Amazon third-party sellers do not offer them, and it should be in your cart with the GPU or at least some mention of it. Starting with the best graphics card under $100 in November 2024, and I've linked our old GPU value spreadsheet in the description if you want to check it out. Obviously, these are all going to be used GPUs, and we only consider graphics cards with at least 8GB of VRAM. Now, used GPU prices are falling fast right now on older generations because new ones are coming, and the GTX 1080 8GB and GTX 1080 Ti 11GB graphics cards remain the best overall values, though they are getting quite a bit older. For something newer, for $81, the RX 5500 XT 8GB, it's a pretty good option, or the RX 5700 8GB for $119. Jumping over to the best graphics card under $200 in November 2024, and we're just looking at new GPUs here. But given that game bundle, the ARC A580 and A750, they've suddenly jumped up massively in value. I mean, give me a break. A $69 game for free on top of a, $180, $190 GPU? Remember that Hardware Unboxed recently tested nearly 300 games and found 90+% worked on these GPUs. Though driver support for new release titles, it does take Intel a little bit longer than AMD or NVIDIA. If you still don't feel comfortable buying a GPU from Intel, the RX 6600 XT and 6650 XT GPUs will likely see discounts for Black Friday, and they remain strong options. And possibly the RX 6600 non-XT as well if the price gets a little lower. Everything else on this list, it's a hard skip without serious price cuts. What's the best graphics card under $300 in November 2024, which I've extended to $314 just to include the RX 7600 XT 16GB GPU. Now, this is an area I do expect prices to drop quite a bit for Black Friday sales. Last month, the AMD game bundle and the lack of any Intel or NVIDIA one made a huge difference. There's no AMD game bundle now, but Intel's ARC A770 16GB graphics card, it really jumps towards the top of my recommendations with the Assassin's Creed Shadows game, and $279. If you don't care about the bundle and you don't want Intel, the best cheap 1440p graphics card right now, it's the RTX 3060 12GB. Continues to be, which might see some small discounts around Black Friday. Sometimes it gets down to like $249, but it has also reportedly stopped production. Unless you can't afford $279, I do not recommend any of the 8GB GPUs over it. If you have the RX 6700 XT or 6750 XT 12GB graphics card in your market around $300, that is probably my top recommendation for best budget 1440p graphics card, and you can see why from the chart. We saw it get down to $269 for July Prime Day. Maybe that happens again around Black Friday. If you don't have the 6700 XT in your market and you can't stretch to the next budget category, then look for discounts on the RX 7600 XT 16GB GPU, which I do recommend over the RTX 3060 12GB but that's if you can afford it. Jumping up to the best graphics card under $400, and honestly, to me, this one is so obvious we will not spend much time here. The RX 7700 XT 12GB GPU just nukes everything here into oblivion, and it's still really good price of $369 before the heart of Black Friday sales hit. Now, I do expect we'll see at least that $349 price come back. We post Black Friday deals, so stay subscribed for that. And even without the game bundle, it's just totally insane value. It really is the best 1440p graphics card by value, especially if you can't reach up into the next budget category. That's why I really recommend stretching up to get it from the RX 7600 XT if you can, and please, do not buy the absolute garbage RTX 4060 Ti 8GB graphics card, where you'll struggle to run a number of titles even at 1080p with only 8GB of VRAM. Moving over to the best graphics card between $400 and $600 in November 2024. Now this one's kind of complicated because AMD's game bundle, it's gone, and because we're likely just 3 months away from new AMD RX 8000 series GPUs that are going to launch in this price class. We have the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB at around $430, the RX 7800 XT 16GB GPU for $470, although it did get down to $427 on October Prime Day, the RX 7900 GRE 16GB for $530, and RTX 4070 graphics card with kind of a silly price around $540, including newer models with slower VRAM, and the RTX 4070 Super 12GB still hanging on very close to its MSRP at $590. So let's toss out the really badly priced RTX 4060 Ti 16GB and the RTX 4070 12GB GPUs. I do expect to see discounts on the RX 7800 XT, but I'm not sure about the 7900 GRE as it just didn't budge on Prime Day, and I'll even mention that the 7900 XT might get down to $600. It's almost there right now, and we'll talk about that in the next category. Even taking into account the NVIDIA game bundle, which honestly it's going to expire on November 12th, I'm not loving the 4070 Super, and you can almost get a 7900 XT 20GB GPU that's worlds faster for almost the same price. I'm also not in love with the 7900 GRE 16GB if it sits at $529, while the 7800 XT drops to the low 400s again. I think the 7800 XT probably the best value here at that lower price point, and honestly, I'd probably skip anything else without huge discounts and wait. Then we move to the best graphics card between $600 and $1,000. And here we've got the RX 7900 XT 20GB for around $640, the RTX 4070 Ti Super 16GB for around $790, although I will link that MSI Store one for $729 in the video description, the RX 7900 XTX for around $840, and the RTX 4080 Super 16GB for like $1,000. NVIDIA's game bundle is available on all of these GPUs, and I do expect some possibly steeper discounts on the higher end RX 7000 series GPUs during upcoming sales, just based on history. In particular, if the 7900 XT graphics card drops under $600 or the 7900 XTX drops into the low $700 range, that's probably an insane deal if you don't want to wait 3 months or so for RX 8000 series graphics cards. I kind of like the MSI RTX 4070 Ti Super Expert deal for $729. That's not a bad price, and at the time of filming, you also get the game bundle until November 12th. I'd likely pass on the RTX 4080 Super, but maybe if you're building like a Ryzen 9800X 3D PC, grab the RTX 4080 Super at $1,000, just because we have no idea what the pricing on the 5080 is going to be. We know it's not going to be cheap. That leaves the best graphics card of 2024, which remains the RTX 4090 24GB GPU, now at $1,900 US for the cheapest of models, and they go up substantially from there. Now, if I thought the 5090 would come in around the same price point, I'd say for sure wait, but there has been conflicting information out there, and we're seeing prices possibly up to $2,500, even more. Of course, the 5090 will almost certainly be plagued by scalpers for months, just like previous 90 class NVIDIA GPUs, so it isn't clear how long you'll be waiting to actually get one once they're even announced. So add all that up, and I don't think you're crazy to buy a 4090 right now, but it is kind of in a weird place. All these graphics cards are linked down in the video description, so check those links for current pricing and availability in your region. The spreadsheet's linked down there as well. And of course, we post Black Friday deals during the Black Friday period, so stay subscribed for that. If you got value out of this video, please give it a like, and of course, subscribe for more cool PC content like our recent Ryzen 9800X 3D build guide video, where we show you how to put together the fastest gaming PC on the planet, including RAM, motherboard, GPU, and other recommendations. Check it out, and we'll catch you on the next one.